What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/EntitledPeople. Alright, this story's called
I have 10,000 followers on TikTok. I'm famous.
My Spoiled Sister Who Refuses to Get a Job. Rant. I've always been on my little sister's ass trying to get her to work. Long story short, our parents made me get and keep a job at 15, or they threatened to kick me out, while our parents spoil her and aren't pushing her to get a job. They'll suggest places for her to work, but they never say, get a job or get out, like they did with me. She's 21, had a job for 2 months, walked out after deciding she didn't like it, and has never worked again after that, claiming trauma from her previous workplace as an excuse not to find a new job. She went to college for 1 semester, but quit after she realized that the teachers and other students weren't going to do her homework for her. The moment anything involves effort on her part, she quits. She has zero work ethic. She's used to giving my parents puppy dog eyes and getting her way. Shocking when the rest of the world doesn't work like that. Last time we spoke, I told her she should be looking for work, even if it's part-time. My mom tried to get her a job. My mom's company needed temp checkers in their security gates. Part-time, 20 hours a week, $25 an hour. Incredible opportunity for my sister. All she had to do was apply, and she would have been given the job. But no.
I don't need to work. My followers send me money. They buy me gifts too.
That's not stable income. What happens when you want to move out? You'll need a steady job.
I have 10,000 followers on TikTok. I'm famous. My videos have almost 70,000 views.
You need a lot more followers and views to be considered famous.
Sure, right. Like you know anything about TikTok.
I may not use TikTok, but I know how being an influencer works. You need millions of followers.
Whatever. This is just to hold me down until the big stuff happens.
What big stuff?
You know how it goes. TikTok is where agents discover talent. I'll be seen and I'll be found. An agent will get me a big job on camera and I'll be really famous. I'll make so much that I won't have to work. So shut up and stop bugging me about getting a job.
You do realize acting isn't an easy job. The days are long, longer than the typical 8-hour workday. There's makeup and costumes and doing scenes a million times until the director thinks you got it. I have a lot of theater experience. I know it's not Hollywood, but acting is a tough job, no matter where you're doing it.
Just shut up!
She stormed off into a room and started crying, her typical behavior when someone won't tell her what she wants to hear. My dad and I got into an argument later about it. He says it's not right of me to crush her dreams. I'm not crushing anything. I'm being honest with her. Her followers have sent her a grand total of $384 since she started her TikTok a year ago. 2 followers sent her presents for her birthday after she posted a video begging for gifts. I saw the video. She claims that her family neglects her and forgets her birthday every year. She's not famous. She's not making anywhere near enough to claim she doesn't need to work. Her chances of getting discovered are nearly zero. She needs to get her head out of her own ass and take a realistic look at the world. But she won't, because my parents coddle her and let her stay in her fantasy. Okay, obviously she needs to get a job and have some responsibility, but also you should encourage her, because the one thing she is doing is TikTok, and while a lot of people don't think that's like a serious thing to do, people are making full-on careers. People are getting famous, like the D'Amelio sisters or whatever. The older ones in a show, the younger ones in a freaking movie. They're not good at acting, but they're still really young and they're really, really successful, and that's something you gotta respect. And 10,000 followers is nothing to sneeze at. While it's not famous, it's definitely something you can work with, and it's obvious that she's had some growth over the year. So yeah, encourage her TikTok growth, but yeah, she definitely does need to have a job and stuff. And she might want to work on being a little more honest and modest. Alright, this story's called You Paid for Them, You Pay for Us. Burner account, long story once more. I was the one whose sister-in-law demanded that I'd pay for a holiday. Here is a part 2. So, sister-in-law was very disappointed and angry that I didn't bow down to her every whim and pay for a holiday. For those who read my first post know that I'm well off. thanks to hard work and some luck. We had some flying monkeys come in because of my sister-in-law. Most backed down and understood where we stood and left us alone. Unfortunately, the whole family of my dear husband now knows that we have a bank account with dollar bills on it. As sister-in-law had called a lot of family members to complain and spill the beans, they began talking amongst themselves and their children. Some of the aunts, uncles, and cousins didn't think it fair that I paid for some college funds for some of the children of cousins and that I paid for a family holiday. To note, I only have college funds for the children of cousins who we have a close relationship with. That's about 6 cousins with around 12 kids. I'm in this family for almost 20 years, and I only see the majority of the aunts, uncles, and cousins on the yearly, bi-yearly family reunion, if everybody comes. I haven't seen some of them in around 5 to 10 years. A couple of days after the fallout with sister-in-law, an aunt and uncle call. Something they never do. I put my phone on speaker as I was busy with folding the laundry. They ask how everything is going, how we're holding up during the brovid, and such. We exchange some experiences, and then they both go like this. This is the start of the convo.
Listen, we hear you have some college funds set up for some of the children of certain cousins. Is that true?
Yes, that's true. I'm no liar.
Is it true that you took mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law 1, sister-in-law 2, and family with you on holiday?
Yes.
You also have a holiday home, yes?
We do, but why do you want and need to know?
We never knew you had so much money.
Well, a lot of hard work, sacrifices, dedication, and luck were part of it.
Aha. Well, you have to pay for our grandchildren's college funds as well. And we want to go on a holiday with our children too. We deserve it too.
Shocked silence.
We're family, so you have to pay.
Less shocked silence.
Yes, we want college funds for your 6 grandchildren, each consisting of $800,000 for each child, and we want a holiday home like yours, but in location X. We already have one we want. We'll send you the information. And that also goes for our family holiday. We're family, and since you have the money, you can pay for us too.
Pissed off silence. They continue to rant that they deserve it because they're family and family takes care of each other. My hubby, meanwhile, had heard everything and was getting angrier. I had pressed a record button halfway through the convo and asked them to repeat their demands. I eventually asked them if they had more to say, which they hadn't. I just flat out said that it wasn't gonna happen. That they may think that they're entitled to my money, but they weren't. I quoted the phrase they and many of the family gave us when hubby and I didn't have the money and we were in a tight spot because we had a health scare. We asked every family member if we could borrow some money and we would pay it back. Only 3 of the 9 aunts and uncles helped us and we paid them back. The quote?
It is your responsibility to have and save money for the care, well-being, and education of your family. If you can't, then you don't deserve them. We won't be giving you any money.
Stunned silence on their side. I told them to relay the message to the rest and not to call us with such demands. And I hung up the phone. Hubby was very proud. In the weeks that followed, some of the other aunts, uncles, and cousins called with the same. Only those aunts and uncles who helped us in our time of need called and told us to say that it is our money and that they have seen plenty of it and don't ask for more. One cousin called and asked for a certified loan for a down payment on a house, something I have agreed to. They had the majority saved but came short of $1,000. They had to pay for it sooner as they could get the house sooner. Just now, I saw that I received the first half of it. That also raised hell. Then, with the aunts, uncles, and cousins, we had a Zoom call and I explained to them my reasons for not doing this. I told them that they could always come when they truly needed financial help, but under legal contracts so that neither party would feel themselves screwed over. Cousin who borrowed money even showed the certified notarized loan. Most seemed to understand, not entirely happy, but they knew they could come for help. But for some, it wasn't. Then came the cherry on top. I came home last week on a weekday to find a lot of parked cars in an otherwise almost empty street. I had to pass my house in order to park somewhere else, and around 15 to 20 of the aunts, uncles, and cousins had gathered in the front yard. So much for social distancing. Afterwards, it was 3 aunts, 3 uncles, and some cousins and their spouses. I park the car and walk back home. Now, here is something that few people know. I have security cameras around my home that record sound as well. Another thing that a few people know, don't mess with me. I am told that my right hook is very painful. So while walking back, I called the non-emergency line of our local police station. I told them the situation and told them that crap might hit the fan. If they could come and assist in case it got out of hand, they would send some cops. And crap hit the fan. The moment I stepped inside of people, they started screaming, cursing, telling me to pay up or they will make sure that I'll pay, one way or the other, all the while cornering me. Some of them poked their finger close to my face and in my chest and arms. I told them multiple times to stop what they were doing and leave. Sometime through this, more cops were called by some neighbors as well, and when they arrived, were trying to get to me. Then, one uncle made a mistake. A man of about 6'3" slapped me, a woman of just 5'2", across the face in full view of the cops. The crowd went silent as he put his face almost in my face and went on a rant that I had to obey him as one of the elders of the family, all the while with his hand raised as he would slap me again. He couldn't continue his rant. I knocked him to the ground. He stayed down, not unconscious, but quite rattled and stunned that I had punched him. This was apparently what the cops needed as well. The family members were stunned, and the cops managed for them to get away from me. They were pissed. A couple of the aunts, uncles, and cousins managed to make a run for their car and drive away. The rest got to meet with some very angry cops, some fines for breaking social distancing rules, and the expectation that charges might be pressed against them. To shorten the novel already, I'm fine. I had some bruised fingers, uncle had a broken cheekbone of my lovely cameras are now in the hands of the DA, district attorney. The other family members have distanced themselves from the crap that happened. To be honest, I feel really crappy. I feel like dividing a family because I just don't hand out money. Hubby says that this is money that I worked hard for, so I get to decide what happens. Still, I'm thinking of setting some college funds aside for the rest of the children, though I'm doubting that. It would also seem that I don't stand my ground and can be persuaded with violence, threats, and harassment. I'm so sick of it. Edit. To keep myself from repeating, I've pressed charges against my uncle for the little love tap he gave me. Thankfully, my uncle has not filed counter charges for the love tap I gave him in return. I've been told he asked for anger management courses and a psychological evaluation without prompts. His statement is that he got carried away and felt he was being egged on. He also wrote that he was extremely sorry and never meant to hurt me. I don't know what to believe. I know this behavior is out of character for him. He and his wife also contacted my lawyer with a written apology already. All those present had to give statements, and one red thread emerged. They were there because the aunt and uncle who called me first, the ones from this post, had said they all should try and see if they could convince me. As for charges concerning the others who were present, my lawyer is looking if they can get charges to stick for harassment. He is also looking if the instigators can be charged with a number of things. That guy is having a field day. He loves this. Those who are not involved have sent texts, called, and sent me emails telling me that they're sorry for the behavior of their spouse, sibling, or parent. They have not asked me to drop charges or anything, though. Just apologies. Wow. Okay. Well, if this doesn't fit an entitled people, then I don't know what the hell does. User burner account 9098876. It's okay. You did absolutely nothing wrong. You're being a good person, and you do with your money as you please, and don't let others pressure you into using it on them, because $800,000 per kid is insane. Alright, this story's called Entitled Lady Deliberately Jumps on My Mom's Car and Accuses Us for Intentionally Hitting Her. This happened a few minutes ago and I'm still fuming, so my English might not be perfect. My mom and I were driving back home from the post office. We stopped at a crosswalk and waited for a lady to walk across. When she was right in front of the car, she literally jumped on the hood. She acted like we were driving at 40 miles per hour and we hit her head on. My mom got out of the car and looked at the damage. She just got this car and she was pissed. The lady got off of the ground and screamed at my mother for hitting her. My mom wasn't having any part of this bull snozzle. She told the lady off, and I'm not 100% sure if I can say what she said on here. The last thing I knew was the lady was red-faced and walking away. I've never seen my mom do that before. I'm guessing she probably had her fair share of entitled people at her work. Edit, if anyone was wondering, there were no cops involved, and we never saw that woman again. What does she think this is, Saints Row 2? I wish. That game's fun. Alright, this story's called My Mother is Trying to Control Me. My mother keeps trying to control my life. So, currently 17, I have a boyfriend, and one of my mother's favorite topics to talk about is sex. Why? The world will never know. And the other day, we were on the topic of sex, which then led to the topic of children. Now, my boyfriend and I are safe. I am on birth control, and my mother knows, as does my boyfriend, that I never want to have kids. It's just a preference, so the conversation went like this. The cast,
My mother?
oh, Pete me.
So you don't want to have kids at any point?
No, I told you many times I don't want kids.
Does boyfriend want kids?
He might, but he's not getting them from me.
Well, what if you get pregnant at this age?
I wouldn't keep it.
Why not? You'd be a great mother.
How about the fact that I'm 17, still in high school, and don't want to ruin my life?
Well, how about you have the baby and just give it to me?
I don't think my body will be able to withstand childbirth, mentally or physically.
Then what will you do?
There's always get out of baby card.
No, you can't have a get out of baby card. Not without my consent.
I don't need your consent to have a get out of baby card.
Yes, you do.
I actually don't require her consent. All I need is 2 doctors' approval, and it's fairly easy. I shouldn't have to be forced to have a child just because my mother wants grandkids. Maybe she's just acting this way due to the fact that she lost a baby earlier last year. I still don't think it's okay for her to try to control what I want to do with my body. Thoughts? Well, you are perfectly within your rights to not have a kid. And if your mother keeps pressuring you into, the idea of it, then yeah, I'd say she's kind of in the wrong there. However, I'm not saying this makes you at all in the wrong, but you do come off as a little callous toward the whole issue of your mother having a miscarriage. But I get how it is with family. When you live with someone, especially your parents, you're not always going to feel sorry for them for something like that. Especially when they keep, doing what she's doing. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.